By the middle of the 1st century, the Roman military machine operated on a simple premise: relentless forward momentum. After landing in Britain in 43 AD, the legions crushed local uprisings and marched north, pushing deep into the Scottish lowlands. But as they advanced, the landscape pushed back. The terrain grew too rugged for traditional formations, and the northern tribes proved elusive, refusing to fight pitched battles. This geographic friction strained Roman logistics. Supply lines stretched thin across the harsh moors, leaving isolated frontier garrisons vulnerable to being overrun and burned by raiding parties. After decades of investing resources for diminishing returns, the Roman military had reached its physical breaking point. In 122 AD, Emperor Hadrian arrived in Britain with a new directive. The empire would stop growing and begin to consolidate. He ordered his men to draw a hard, physical line across the narrowest point of the island, 73 miles of stone and earth, stretching from the western salt marshes to the River Tyne in the east. This massive infrastructure functioned as a highly engineered, bureaucratic machine. Its design forced human movement through specific choke points, allowing Rome to process travelers, collect customs taxes, and maintain tight control over exactly who entered the province. Constructing a project of this scale required sophisticated labor. Roman legionaries themselves served as the master engineers, masons, and surveyors who built the frontier. Looking at this cross-section of the frontier from north to south, we see a layered defense. It started on the northern edge with a deep V-shaped ditch. This forced any attacker to climb down and then up, completely exposed to defensive fire. Behind that ditch stood the primary barrier, a stone structure 10 Roman feet thick and 15 feet high. A 6-foot parapet ran along the top, giving the guards clear sight lines over the northern terrain while shielding them from return fire. To the south lay the vallum, a large ditch flanked by 2 massive earth mounds. This strictly marked the inner military zone, where civilians were forbidden, protecting a paved highway that allowed the legions to move supplies and reinforcements freely along the line. These layers functioned together as a system of defense in depth, allowing the legions to dictate exactly how and where an engagement would occur. This photograph shows the distinct stone foundation of a milecastle. Spaced exactly 1 Roman mile apart, these gated outposts served as the border's primary customs checkpoints, filtering tribal merchants and travelers through the wall under strict supervision. Spaced along the line were the main military hubs. This aerial view shows the extensive grid of a major Roman fort, which housed 500 to 1,000 auxiliary soldiers and contained granaries, hospitals, and bathhouses. The men manning these outposts represented the reach of the empire. Syrian archers, Numidian cavalry from North Africa, and Mesopotamian bargemen were all stationed together, adapting to the damp cold of the British moors. We know their daily routines because of the Vindolanda tablets. Written in raw Latin script, they contain inventory logs, party invitations from officers' wives, and soldiers writing home to ask for warmer socks and underwear. These ordinary men formed a living, breathing microcosm of the Roman world, holding the line at its furthest edge. In 367 AD, during a coordinated assault known as the Barbarian Conspiracy, northern tribes successfully overwhelmed the garrisons and burned several forts along the line. For nearly 300 years, however, the wall successfully channeled raids into organized killing zones and turned border crossings into profitable, taxable events. As the empire began to buckle, Rome withdrew its legions to defend Italy and abandoned the infrastructure to the elements around 410 AD. Over the following centuries, locals scavenged the stone to build the rural chapels, farm holdings, and field walls that still stand across northern England today. The builders are long gone, but these surviving stones remain as a permanent record of the exact moment an empire